Hey everyone, how is it going? So another day. We are now on Wednesday of this week, so midweek, and we're in a bit of, at least my account's in a bit of a drawdown. It's not huge on the standard account. Wow, it's not even saying what it is on my standard account on my FX book. It's not even 1% on my standard account. It's still under 1%. So the drawdown's not massively substantial or anything like that yet. But we are in 3 trades on the odd NZD. Now, I feel like my trades on this pair have been pretty good. Unfortunately, it just hasn't... price hasn't really gone in my favor on this pair yet. You can see my 3 positions. The first one being here, and then the second buy position in the second. So the 0.05 and then 0.1 and 0.1. Now the first position that I entered was based on the 4-hour chart. For those of you that remember, or if those of you that are joining for the first time, I saw this Harami candle after a new low was shooting for a bit of a push up. The retracement didn't happen. So after that position, after the pair went against me, I started looking for other opportunities to re-enter. I had a pending order set down here. This candle happened after a new statement, and you can see that my position was originally here, a pending order, but they're really unfortunate. This move happened during Oanda's changeover for the new day, so at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this happened right at 5 p.m. And my spread was on this pair, I think it was like 30 pips or something. And that's typical for a broker to have a spread that high, or not that high, but most brokers, when they change over the day, their spreads increase a lot. And so the So the situation here was that I had a pending order placed down here, and it was originally my second pending order. It would have been executed if there wasn't high spreads, and then on this whipsaw back up on this candle, I would have easily hit some profit. So really unfortunate circumstance there regarding that candle. So later on, I saw a couple of things that made it so I re-entered. I wanted to re-enter this or place a second order before my pending. I saw this candle here. I liked what I saw here. It was decent. It was a pretty good indication for a retracement back up when it came to price action. Now it did move. It did move in that direction after that candle. So I felt like that was a pretty good entry on my second level. This was the peak of that move, and unfortunately, my profit on that trade was right about here. The price came within 4 pips of my take profit. So I was really close. I almost closed this trade out manually because of how close I was getting. But I held on to it. I was actually out and about. I can't be at my computer all the time. I saw on my phone that I was in some profit. I think roughly about a 0.25% when I looked at it. And I looked at it a couple times to see what was going on. So I thought it was really close. And I saw that some of the news that came out was negative, the Kiwi. So I was hoping that there would be a little bit more push there, and I would get just a bit of a pop, and then I would get out of my position. Didn't happen, so I held on to it, and sometimes these things happen. You never know if it's going to push through your take profit, or if it's going to just close or just under it, and we just never know what's going to happen. So knowing that, it's not that I'm always going to close out my trades early. Sometimes I'll do it, sometimes I won't, and I try not to do that because it brings the emotional side into trading, which I try to avoid entirely. And so I only usually take out trades early if I see it price bouncing around my take profit a lot, and for an extended amount of time, for a couple hours or so. Sometimes I'll close it out because I'm seeing that there's some resistance or support or range going on in that area, and so I just want to get rid of the position. So that's so after that happened, after the peak here, it went back down. There was a Harami candle here. I was asleep at the time. I wouldn't have re-entered. It was too close to my second order. That's only about 20 pips away. And then my third order was down here at this level. I entered on the next Harami candle there. This is a pretty good level. It's showing some resistance right now, some support there, especially because I received these candles here. So it's showing some kind of support down here, which is good for me. I just hope it holds. If it doesn't hold, then I'm going to look to the next level. I want out of this trade. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I want out of this trade now, as soon as possible. This is not one I want to hold on to. The odd NZD have been kind of up and down. This is a kind of a ranging pair. It goes in tight ranges, but it trends heavily. And looking at the crosses, so the other ones that are involved, so like the NZD USD, where are my other pairs? NZD JPY is another one as well. So I'm looking at these pairs to see what's going on. So I saw, when I took my third position, I saw this happening. Harami candle at the peak. It's blowing back past it now. And a same thing on the NZD USD. So price action was showing me some potential reversal points here happening on the NZD, which I kind of need so that the Australian dollar could gain some value against the Kiwi, and not quite getting it yet. As you saw on the other pairs, it's pushing up higher. Not a whole lot yet, but it's enough. This pair is still holding right now, which is fine. But I hope that those other pairs reverse soon. But you know, if it doesn't, then I'm prepared for another level. So I'm going to be looking at. I'm going to probably place my fourth pending order right now. So my next pending order is going to be placed down here. It's a bit wider than my other trades at 93 pips. That's just my pending order. That could always change, especially depending on the price action and what I receive, as you guys have seen me do so far with this trade. So support's holding down there, and as of now, we'll have to see if it breaks or not. If it does break this level, then I would expect to see more on the lower side with this. So I'm also in on the pound USD, and I'll talk about that current trade here in a second. Obviously in drawdown, as you can see. This is my trade from yesterday. I entered after this Harami candle and the new high I marked the order with the red line, so it's right in here. I was looking for 25 pips, and the trade went, or the pair after my order was placed, went just 32 pips before it bounced back up. So I hit my profit just barely, and then it bounced at that point. So that was about 8 hours or 8 to 10 hours ago or so. Robert FX, you just sold the AN. Well, I'm buying. so so hopefully you meant buy instead of sell. So okay, so let's go back to the pound. So my position last night hit profit. It was a pretty clean trade. The most drawdown it hit, I think, was about 8 pips or so. It was slow mover. It was a really slow moving trade. Not a lot of volatility. So the next one I took, again, another Harami candle or inside candle here. I really liked the look of this. Just not going in my favor right now. There's not a lot of news driving the market right now, so the trends are continuing in their direction. So the new high, the Harami candle, and then I was hoping for the push down to my take profit. Just looking for 20 pips there. And this level is pretty, right now they're showing some resistance up here at this, where I just put this vertical line, horizontal line, excuse me. So yeah, so they're showing some resistance here. I'm hoping that this trade doesn't close above this line, and if it does, then I could see more on the upside. I have a pending order placed pretty high above right now, and when it's placed that high, so 130 pips or so, I'm looking at this level as well. It's not that far from my original entry. It's only about 40 pips. That's maybe a little too tight. I'd rather, instead of putting a pending order there, I'd rather just watch the price action to see how things are going in that area before placing a pending order. So I'm going to leave my pending order pretty high up there, just in case things continue to go against me. Like I said, I'm seeing some resistance, and I'm continuing to see that right now, even with this current candle pulling back. It keeps pushing and pulling back down within that 1 hour candle. So I'm looking for a close below this line here that I just made. If it closes below this line, then that's a good sign for me. If it closes above, then I might have to wait this one out. Robert FX, so are you saying that whatever you do, and if I did opposite, it's a good thing? Oh, you said AN. Well, that's the same one. That's the same pair I am. I thought maybe it was a like a correlation or something. That's why you commented. That's a good joke, buddy. Yeah, this is an interesting trade. I had a few people comment, "Oh, this is not one of the pairs that you trade." And honestly, it's not one of the pairs that I typically trade. But I saw, that my price action technique, or the technical side that I do of things, does work on this pair. But I've mentioned to you before, I don't really like the Kiwi very much. It's just an odd pair to trade. It's very temperamental, and so typically I don't usually go for it unless the signals are really good. What I saw here, I liked a lot in this area, and that's the one reason why I took it. So what I was looking at. This candle in particular, this bearish candle, hit this low again, and it even broke it barely, and it had a wick, then a Harami candle just after that. I really liked the way that looked, and so that's why I took the position. But boy, it just went against me pretty quickly. So right now I'm in some drawdown. Not a lot I can do here. I mean, if anything, these look like there's some kind of correlation going on here, with the pound going up since. It began at 3 GMT on my broker, and then 4 was the biggest push. Now, what's kind of interesting with this is if you're looking at my ANZD, the 3 GMT candle showed a bit of a bullish candle there, but the 4, like the pound, also showed a pretty big push down. So right now it looks kind of looking like a bit of an opposite correlation. If this starts pushing down, my hope is that the AN will start moving up. The same thing happened here. I'm not sure how much these pairs are correlated in the long term, since they don't have a whole lot to do with each other, since the pound USD and the odd NZD. But this area here was moving up a bit when the pound was slightly moving down slightly in here. So right now, as of this week, if there's some kind of correlation going on between these pairs, it'd be great if this one started moving down, or vice versa, and then they would I guess hit profit together. But right now I'm at $75 drawdown on my main account, just under 1%. It's like 0.75 or 0.8%. So looking at the USD, Euro US dollar. We have a decent push down from the top. It's only about 100 pips or so. So I wouldn't be looking to counter this at all. Not yet. No, I'm not. I'm not placing any trades for the home sales. So guys, the existing home sales is coming out soon. I'm not expecting a big move on that news. The survey, or the expected the prediction for those sales are not huge. So last month prior was 5.57 million, and the survey is saying 5.56 million. So when the survey is that close to the prior, most of the time the actual number is not a big drastic change. I mean, that's comes from me. That's not something that always happens, but from what I've seen, that happens quite a bit. If a survey is near the same, then a lot of times it will be a very mellow reaction to the news. I'm checking Forex Factory just to see the same thing. Forex Factory doesn't even have the existing home sales as high impact. And also the numbers are very similar. The forecast looks very similar to the previous. So some of you guys trading the Euro US dollar. If this candle closes the way it is in 10 minutes, and a little bit higher, that would be a bullish engulfing, with a chance for a bounce back up. Now it's only 100 and something pips, 114 pips from the top to the bottom, but this is a really good indication. Yes, this kind of staircase thing, it broke this low already. I would anticipate some kind of a bounce before a potential move back down. So yeah, just some play there. I mean, it's not I'm not sure or positive that that's going to happen. I could never be. But if this closes 5 to 10 pips above where it is now, then there's a good chance for that. What do I think about gold versus the U.S. dollar? I don't know. I don't trade the gold. That's Gold Star's. That's his domain. I have traded gold a little bit in the past, but I don't follow up on it. I don't read much on it. It doesn't affect my currency trading that much. A lot of different things affect how prices move. It's not just one thing in particular. Yeah, Potter, the staircase thing. Yeah, right. I mean, there's proper terminology for that, but screw proper terminology. Why is it necessary to use it? Okay. So we're having some pull up, but on the AN, it's still really low volatility right now, though. Yeah, Potter, I can always expect that you'll crack some joke. Okay, so talked about the euro, US dollar, the pound, Japanese yen. Now I was considering taking this pair over the pound USD, but I decided against it. I didn't see a lot of indication. I saw that the euro is being pushed down, so that was likely that the US dollar, Japanese yen would be pushed up, causing the pound, if the pound went against me, to move up more. In this case, I was correct in saying that the pound Japanese yen would take more of a hit against me if it did end up going against me. So the difference is 32 pips versus 52 pips. So 20 pips more on that position. So I'm glad I didn't take the pound Japanese yen, but I'm still hoping for a pullback on this line or near it. Pretty good candle here. It didn't touch the low, unfortunately, on the AU. But I like this. I do like this candle here. That's a bullish engulfing, and for some people that were looking at that level, it was near a whole number, or at a whole number. Whole number was right here. And it closed. It broke that level, and it closed pretty good strength above that. And then, as you can see, the candle right after had a nice push. That would have been a pretty decent trade there to take. I would have liked to see it close to break this level or close a little bit lower below it. I'm not exactly sure if I would have taken that position if I hadn't already been in the AN already. Now this is a pretty good trade. Again, I'm not in it. I'm not in this one since I'm in two trades already, and this is not the most ideal top and bottom. Sorry, I'm gonna get rid of these. So I'm looking at the top of that swing level, and then the bottom. There's not a lot of pips in between. There's only 113, but there was a really good-looking Harami candle here with a wick on the previous candle, inside candle bullish, also with a wick, and then a push back up. So if that's pushing up, I'm guessing that there could be some kind of retracement happening on the Euro US dollar as well, especially in the next hour. I would expect for a push, or at least my call is for a push back up here in the next hour. How much, I don't know. Okay, so we also had a position on the pound Australian dollar. I received Harami candles, inside Harami candles on the pound or the GA, the GU, and the GJ, all three of them. I think I would have taken the GA over the other two, but since I was already in an odd trade already, I decided against it. This one is about the same, and pips against me. It's about 32 pips since the actual trigger candle. So NCD is climbing right now on pretty much across the board. The support level is trying to hold out. It's trying to hold out in here, and I don't know if it's going to last. It's not. It's a decent level, but the reason why it's decent is because it's a whole number there. I mean, you can see there as well. It's a 1.0400. It's hovering around that level. So that's giving it a little extra, I guess, strength there. Especially since the NZD is rising on against the other pairs right now, and so this potentially could be moving more than it is. So this is it's going to be tricky right here, and then I'll just have to play it out. I do think it's going to break this level, though. I don't think it's going to reverse here. I think I'm going to have to place another trade. I think it will continue to go down. That's my call. I don't like calling trades that continue to go against me, but I do think this one will continue to go down for a bit longer. So another reason why I want to get out of it sooner rather than later. Let's see. I'm just reading some of the comments here, guys. Robert FX, what point do I drop a basket? Typically at 7% in the negative. So my account, once my account reaches minus 7%, then I cut all trades, and that includes the ones that are in profit and the ones that are in loss. So that doesn't mean just one negative basket either. For example, I would cut, if I was in 7% in the negative now, I would cut all the trades on the AN, and I'd even cut my trade on the pound USD as well. I do think that the pound and the AN will go further against me today. How much, I don't know. I'll be looking for the next support resistance levels, in particular here, and since that is here, and then also the whole number that's near that, I'll be looking at. So the next two levels I'll be looking at for reversals or potential reversals are here and here. Okay, so the odd NZD has closed up below my level, or this level. I would need this current candle to close above. If it doesn't close above, I think it's going to continue back down. The markets are waiting right now. It's weird. There's like a slow bleed going on. trying to decide which way they're going. On the Euro US dollar has already kind of made its decision on what's happening here. It's been moving pretty good this morning, but some of the other pairs are kind of just holding out. So I'll be watching this very closely today to see if there's any indications for more orders that I can put in a safe way. But I'm going to be from this point on, I'm going to be very careful on the AN, because this pair could get out of control if I don't play it carefully. So far, I think I've played it pretty good on my initial orders, and so I'm not upset about that at all. The pair is not quite behaving how I like it, and there is some potential I may close this out earlier than I expected, for a smaller loss. Instead of letting it get too out of hand, I may close it out earlier rather than later. So that's a decision that I'll probably make today or tomorrow, depending on what I see happening. And if I close it out early, I will leave the pound in, the pound USD in. So if I do close it out early, it will unfortunately cut out some of the profit that we have on the MAM account, and well, all of the accounts. But it's something that I think is better for preventative action. I've said to some of you guys before that I do close out some trades early sometimes, and you can even see that in my trading history. All right, so this is the recovery MAM from Good Boy. Nick actually set a custom start date from the time that I started. Right now, we're looking at a max drawdown of 4.54%. I do think that's going to increase today on the drawdown, and I'm hoping that we won't receive more on this group of trades. I'm hoping that we won't see more than 10% before the reversal happens. But you know, what can you do? So it's still looking good. Our drawdown is definitely tolerable at this point. We still have a lot of room. 4.5% is a lot different than 42% drawdown. This is my standard account. What's looking like now. It's not showing for some reason the percent drawdown, which is kind of frustrating. But since my account is 9,800, we're just under a percent for the drawdown. So guys, I know that this is not the prettiest of times to promote myself, but I'll do it anyway before I take some more questions and then close this session. For those of you guys on YouTube, I haven't checked your messages. Sorry that I'm not answering those. Please head over to forexsignals.com, sign up for the trade room there, and I'll respond to your questions there. It's free. So, so this is the signal that I have now, and it's been going since April 7th. We are now in the above the high water mark, or my high water mark from the past. It'd be really unfortunate to take a small loss now, but I'd rather take a smaller loss than a 7% loss at the moment. So I'll keep you guys informed with that. This week, right now, I've had a 0.41% profit, which is pretty decent. I'm on average so far this week, with an 80% win rate. So my win rate's pretty good this week. I think that's going to change with these two current trades that are in right now. I'm getting some pushback on the AN right now. Remember, I marked that level, and I'm hoping for a close above it. It's pushing up a bit there. I need it to do quite a bit more and close above that red line that I made. All right, so the pound USD is just about to hit the next support resistance level that I've marked. Now, I was considering doing a pending order there. I hope it wasn't a mistake, but I'm actually going to wait it out. I want to wait more, potentially maybe for the whole number up here before I enter again. That's an additional 30 pips. So my official second pending order on this pair is 86 pips away from the current place. Meathead, you don't like self-promoting. Yeah, guys, you can still get 2 free weeks if you sign up for my signal here, but yeah. Engulfing candle here. Pretty decent one. I would maybe see some movement up from here. A bit of a retracement after this move down. It's okay, Meathead. Please feel free to joke, or be serious. Either way. But yeah, you're right. I mean, overall, it's not a good time to be doing that. When I'm in 4 trades right now, it's not looking bad. It's not looking bad yet. But if this one goes against me a bit further, it will start not to look as pretty. So we're gonna wait it out. I don't have a whole lot more to talk about here, guys. You see, I've said my outlook on some of these trades. This didn't happen on the Euro US dollar. It didn't close above the previous open, so this could continue to head back down. The pound is going all against the Euro push, which is really weird. They're not all the time correlated, but that big push down on the Euro US dollar is not being displayed on the pound in any way, at least not right now. Okay, so well, I'm gonna be just waiting out the drawdown today, guys, and I'll probably pick up things with you tomorrow, since tomorrow's Thursday, and we'll see where these trades are at. Maybe we can get some good push in the positive direction today, but I expect that it will be a bit of a slow move for me today. I don't think I'll hit any profit by today. If I'm lucky on the AN trades, it will be later today after the day is finished. So probably during the Asian session. Yeah, I think that's it for today. I'm gonna head out now, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.